Yo guys, Coach Theo here on Common Sense. Story time. I'm gonna finish a video I already started shooting, but I think the intro I already have is pretty damn cute and fitting for the subject, so... Yeah, speaking of that, my girlfriend calling me now.
Baby, hello.
Hello.
Where are you?
I'm back at the place. Where are you?
Oh shit. Did you just get back?
No.
Because I just finished.
Oh, okay. Should I come meet you somewhere?
What, do you want me to come there? What do you feel like doing?
No, I'll come meet you somewhere.
Because, yeah, I have amazing news. I sang really well. Yeah, so I will tell you when you're here.
Okay, so should I meet you by the opera house?
Do you want?
Yeah, sure.
Or do you want me to come closer to you? Whatever you want.
No, I can come to you.
There are so many nice shops here. Let's go through the Christmas markets again.
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah?
Yes, baby. You sound very happy.
Baby.
That's nice to hear.
Yeah. Okay, see you in a bit, yeah?
Yeah, I'll see you soon.
Okay, baby, love you.
Bye. Love you. Bye. So that's kind of perfect. I want to talk more about masculine and feminine energies. Yes, basically, I'm going to tell you how I met my soulmate, twin flame. You know, I'm going to elaborate exactly what I mean by these terms, and you don't have to believe in any gay-ass New Age spirituality stuff to have use for this video. Basically, just how I met the person that's, if not the only one for me, definitely the right one for me. And this will be more of a telling you a story to inspire you more than a how-to video, but there's gonna be certain things I want to comment on as we go down memory lane. But okay, so guys, I used to be a skinny fat loser, hedonist, nihilist, anxious, depressed sort of guy, you know, drinking, partying, smoking weed, getting drunk, women, chasing women was a big drug escape, attempt at finding meaning and value in myself, right? The value, the love I didn't get from the inside, I tried to get from the outside, right? And then I went through this transformational journey with the panic attacks that, long story short, on the other side of that, I was still kind of a mess, but new hope. No longer panic attacks that had me on the brink of suicide, a second chance at life, a different feeling, energy than I ever had before. And that's when I started giving training, the physical fitness side of things a go. And many things improved in my life here, right? But so, up until this point, I lived a sort of life that many young men live these days when you just don't know where to go. Like, you might have trauma from your childhood, but you also just don't know what you're supposed to do with yourself in this world. That basically you work, you study, you might even be like ambitious, like perform well in that area, but you don't really have a big why, big purpose, and one big vice is often to chase girls, you know, right? Among other pleasures and that, specifically to feel like validated as a man. If I can hook up, have sex with girls, that gives me something, right? So when I started changing, I noticed that this like need to always be thinking ahead, when will the next girl be and stuff, it just kind of, I just didn't feel it anymore. Then by habit, just because I was in something, you know, I stopped drinking almost. You know, I did all of the things way less. But the old ways, you know, and not knowing anything else. That's all I ever knew. That, you know, sometimes you hook up with someone, right? But for every time, I just kept feeling like this. I just don't want this anymore. This is just fucking weird. It's not even, you know, the one night stand sort of like. It's like, I'm not really getting much from this. I start thinking to myself, but it's so foreign to me. You know, but then I go quite long, like half a year or something, without anything. And then I'm in a specific situation where there's like a bit more party. I drank a bit more, although still less than my old self would at any just random weekend, you know. But more for me, my new self, like a bit more than a year into uncommonsensetheo, right? I am actually out at a club, and this, you know, it's very easy for me now when I'm a much more hotter, secure, confident self. I go home with this girl, and it was just so useless what went down there. She's doing her best to imitate some freaking porn star. It doesn't feel at all like connecting to someone. It's like kind of useless. So I kind of decided then and there that I'm done with this, like one night stand kind of thing. I didn't officially decide, like I'm celibate now, but you know, like forever or until I meet someone, right? But that I just knew that I'm not going to care about this now. I'm going to focus on everything else that's more interesting to me. And I started, you know, I was working on myself, and I was feeling the best I ever have in my life. You know, a big feeling that some people that been, you know, feeling bad and have different poor like addictions, habits, whether it's drugs or food or just being, lazy, like not well put together, right? And suddenly I felt the best I ever have, and I produced some really amazing results just when it comes to purely fitness. But I'm therefore healthier physically, but I'm proud of myself, noticing how much difference this does for me and how difficult it is for many people to do what I am in the midst of doing, right? I'm building myself up and feeling the best about myself I ever have. And so I started reflecting on, with many things where I wanted to go in life, but among them, how my new feel for girls, that for so long, mainly sex, what I have been thinking about. I've been in like one real committed relationship. I technically had like one or two more girlfriends in like like as an adult, one that I'd lived with, but they all happened sort of by accident then. I know I wasn't, I just wanted to sleep with girls, really. Suddenly, that's the last thing I want to do. Like, I want to do it with a girl I'm going to be with, of course, but I first and foremost, actually, I want to find one good woman to team up with. A match to me, a teammate in this life journey, And I start thinking about the things that I'd like, and it's like, I'd like a more traditional woman, and that's a point I'd like to make, that traditional, it does not mean what, we're so fucking lost. That's why I'm feeling so called to do this sort of content now. As men and women, we're so fucking lost about who we really are and how we're supposed to be with regard to each other. It's both this idea about there's really no difference between the sexes, like the extreme insane equality ideologies, but then also the backlash towards that. It's like, no, that doesn't really quite get it right either. I know that when I felt traditional, just in the sense that I feel a woman should be, it's not that, I work and she is only at home, and I don't know, like that very specific, that could be a part of a natural feminine and masculine dynamic, but it's more the entire feel, the spirit, that, yeah, I'm the one that leads and you're the one that follows, I'm the one that brings this to the table, you're the one that brings this to the table. Then in the modern world, it's not going to have to be necessarily that one is out working like 15 hours per day and one is just home cooking and raising kids and stuff, right? You see what I mean? It's more about the entire spirit, where you're coming at things from. Someone that wants to be in a union as a man and woman for real, equals in the sense of equal match, but not equals in this pretend way that that things are presented to us a lot these days. But yeah, so I started thinking about this, like, what would I like kind of girl, right? Like, are there even out there? Do they even exist these days? And if they do, will they see that me, the little fitness Theo here, little jacked guy, trainer guy, will they understand that I would be a good match, a good man for them? But at that point, I realized I become whole in the sense I didn't need the female validation anymore. I realized, well, I'm not going to find her through the conventional means of, like, I don't know, serial dating on fucking dating apps and shit. So I'm feeling the best I ever have by myself. So I'll just keep doing me. If I'm not worthy, ready for this kind of woman, well, then I'll just be that. I'll just enjoy being on my mission, and I'm sure she'll show up on the way. And this is when it gets spiritual, and I have to comment a little bit on this with soulmates and twin flame kind of thing, because everything, the way this happened, I did not believe in soulmates, okay? When I was thinking these things, I think I need to find a very special person, but I don't have like the, any sort of ideas that there is this one person only for you, right? And so some people are really balls deep into the spiritual stuff with twin flames and that. We say that, soulmates, you can have several, and twin flame, you can just have the one. It doesn't really matter for the purposes of this video. I'm going to tell you how I met, whatever you want to call it, what seems to be my perfect counterpart, or just the person, whether it's the only one or not, definitely a person that's very right for me to be with. And so, twin flame, well, should I comment on that later? Well, basically, I know that how it goes among spiritual people is that soulmates, you can have a connection. It doesn't always have to be about love, you could have several that you just have a special bond with, or someone that you were supposed to be with for a certain time to teach each other certain lessons, right? To prepare you for, well, maybe for the next one, but for life in different ways, right? And there is this twin flame that is just like the final boss of this. The one that just is everything you could ever have dreamed and hoped for and more. But there's always going to be aspects that make this also on the one hand, it's going to be the best and most chill and natural, effortless it could possibly be. But there's going to be an aspect that you're going to have to face some really, really deep ass shit, deep ass shit, difficult shit that you didn't even know was there, And again, I'm not, I don't care to call it, I think, twin flame. I hate that it's, that's what it's called. But the divine masculine and feminine, honestly, what I know of the lore, I just had no choice to believe in. Many people think that the terrible LA spiritual girl, everyone they meet would be their twin flame, It's like the opposite way, like, oh yeah, I'm sorry, la 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 la. It's just someone that gets like high on the new honeymoon period on things. They call everyone during that phase their twin flame. But me, I'm almost been like the opposite when things have been difficult. That, man, I'm fucking stuck with this. Everything points to me not just being a desperate idiot that's hung up on a person, It's like everything is pointing me towards like who else would it be? How could it be any other way in the end? I might not see how it's going to work after all, but it has to in the end. So this is why it gets so spiritual, right? Because when I've had this little dialogue with myself and concluded that, you know what, I'm the happiest I've ever been by myself, she'll probably show up when I'm ready, when it's the right time, if I just keep going my mission. It was only within days that my girl, finally, officially together again, in a way. We've never broken up. It's, all these things with being together and all, it's social constructs. Until you marry, which is actually a legal thing, that's still not the main thing, though. It's a bond, an agreement, connection between the two of you, right? So it's a little hard to explain. We're back in balance now, right? And she came into my life. And it was exactly like I said, that I couldn't believe how amazing she was in every way, If I were to just list the properties, like of, what she's very good at and things I would admire, sure. And all the traits, things I'd like to see in a woman, if I just think about it beforehand, they are all in place. But also so many other things that I'd never need, but love a lot, right? But also how she sees me, She sees me exactly for the one I know I am. The one I have finally started owning that I am and started pursuing. Uncommonsensetheo, that version of me, right? Still, I have very much an experience in life that no one really truly sees me. Of course, people feel that in general, But, this feeling of being different, not even by the many people that love you and that, not quite fully understood. And she was the first person that she just said everything that I have never told anyone that I'd like to hear. And it was so clear. Everything I thought and felt I was, she just, without me asking for it or making it seem somehow that I want this from her, she's just making so clear that she sees me exactly for who I am, loves me for who I am. And ever since I met her, I just wanted to be in her presence at all the other times when I'm not busy doing anything else, right? Of course I had some other friends, but you have work and shit to do, But all the other time, I want to be with her. It's never felt, like I'd rather not be with her, if you understand. Would be when you keep me up too late on the phone, baby. But that's even then, I cannot help it, right? But yeah, so things were great. And this is where I'm again, because we are going to tell our story, like what actually happened. But now I'm telling you the big pattern of things that seems to be the twin flame journey. Okay, guys, I don't see myself as a guru, some kind of all-knowing spiritual guy. I do see myself as a healer and teacher, though, and I dare to believe I have quite good insight on things. So I'm not claiming that I'm telling you the truth of how things work in some sort of factual way here. It's like I'm telling you my experience, my beliefs, and what I see in other people that I work with and all kinds of things, right? You can take it or leave it. Please don't come arguing with me about it, because I'm not making any claims that I know something that's 100% true, this is how it works, and yeah, but all the lore about the twin flame, there is the sort of meeting where everything, you get to experience that bliss, right, of everything that you'd possibly ever wish from another person romantically. And then there's something that happens that just throws off the balance completely. And of course it's going to have to do with you as people, because everything you do will, but it can, you be put in situations that doesn't necessarily have to do with who you are as people and what you have done. It's just challenges for you now. They are involved. You're entangled in certain situations and stuff, right? So yeah, that's what happened, right? From everything being amazing and it being so, she's gonna be the one forever, right? Everything was just thrown out of balance completely. And I guess I'm just thinking now, there are some things I wish I'd said a little earlier in the video, but I guess I'll take that at a different point. Yeah, and now it was a difficult situation, again, unrelated to us as people, but the sort of damage that created the connection, it's like you're two poles that are in perfect balance, and then just something happened, so you're just bouncing all over the place, and you just cannot get back to this balance, you know, and you feel like you're going crazy, you know, you don't understand. Was I wrong about this person, or am I crazy, or what is this, or how should I look at things, you know? Because in my case, again, we'll tell the full story one day. It's like I'm put in this situation where I understand fully why things are going to be very difficult for her in certain ways, you know, and how this is very difficult for me, but how it's like, well, I can't blame her, you know. I just cannot. She has not... that things are difficult for me has nothing to do with any sort of immoral thing she did towards me, right? I have to move, someone comes here. But, so I'm put in this, that it feels extremely unfair to me, but instead of just getting to be angry at someone and feeling hurt and leaving it behind, it's like, no, how can I? This is the person I felt this amazing connection to. Of course, I've had to question over and over so much. Like, am I just making up a fairy tale around someone that I was wrong about, or that is just so tragic that this is like the thing that I have to walk away from something, even though it was so great and stuff, you know? It's like all these things I've had to ask myself. But I also, when I healed the panic attacks, you know, what I realized about myself, this is the sort of journey, guys. This is why in relationships, and specifically the romantic relationship, this is the greatest teacher of all. You will have to, everything about you will come up. You cannot hide anything anymore. And you're going to be faced with a task of either keep doing what most people in this life are doing, avoid the deepest work forever, maybe realize on your deathbed when it's too late, you know, that you never did, was who you were how and who you were supposed to be in this life, right? But the romantic relationship will teach you, and that's what I mean, that I cannot, when I look back at little Theo 5 years ago when all of this started, I cannot blame him, say that he did anything like bad, like he's a bad person, but that's what you have to face in this life. Even when you're not a bad person and stuff, you have weaknesses, you know. It's just like facing that I'm weak at this exercise at the gym or something, but with a sort of emotional strength, right? Yeah, it's not strange that something hurts. It's not strange that something is difficult. However, if I want this, I have to just get stronger, you know, for her. For love, for myself, love God first of all, realize what is the truth, what I should do, what I need to do in this case, right? And then find that for myself and give it to her. That's the mission I was ordained, right? So, finally, after so many rounds back and forth with our thing, we've finally ended up in balance. Because that's what it's like with a twin flame journey, if I'm just to call it that. There's this first intense meeting, then there's the separation until you have that final union, where both have been sent away to do some work on each other's respective side, and to finally go enough rounds to end up in a place where it's actually stabilized. We're united now. And that's what makes the connection so strong, you know, because you were right for each other to begin with. You were who you wanted when you met, but you both become who both of you needed to be for this to actually work, right? No, but so that this is amazing, guys. It's like the kind of relationship I have. I'm not going to have hubris or egos or something, but I just don't see it around me. That even people are in like what seems like good relationships, it's like I don't know how I'm supposed to explain how I feel about her, how natural everything is to me, how immensely grateful and happy, how everything in my life gets a boost from just being with her. I'm not dependent on her, especially as a man, guys. You cannot, to be at your best, you cannot need a woman for that. You gotta be able to be your best because of what you know that you should be and do as a man. You have a mission from God, right? You have to go first as a leader, but also when it comes to women, right? But we are not robots. We're not going to always feel and be at our best. But having this sort of connection, it's just like, it just makes it the easiest to feel and be the best that you can possibly be at all times, even outside of the relationship, right? But so I guess this is what I'd like to have said earlier in the video. But guys, I don't know if you also, it's wonderful, but I don't understand if you realize the work that is necessary to make something like this happen, you know, because Do you understand? So much these days, we're so fucking lost, okay? This is a long video when I'm telling you this, and it's gonna give the start to shorter videos on related topics around men, women, masculinity, femininity, relationships, attraction, and so on, right? But we're so lost that men really think these things. Oh no, girls only like tall men, or the face is important, or you gotta make money and shit. And it's like, it's so not what it's all about, guys. And women are equally as lost, okay? Yeah, well, basically, the way I see it, the way, I look at this life a bit like a video game, just serious, it's actual life, but there is a story, or there are like alternative stories, but certain things are not going to happen until you reach a certain level. Then is when the next level is going to be unlocked, in a sense, right? And that's what happened. It's too close. When I decided to, like, yeah, well, this is how I'm going to approach love and relationships, right? It was as if I'm like, okay, download the Twin Flame patch, start that quest, right? It's like it had just happened, right? But guys, this is the thing. Fucking both men and women, they like to whine so much about the other party. I cannot stand men just whining about women. They are this and that, and then how fucking you pretend to be in a position to criticize women when that's what you do, whining about women. How manly is that? It's not to say that women don't have problems and you can't express anything about women, but you understand this general jargon of being a so-called red-pilled guy or something, and talking about how women are like a little bitch. It's so pathetic, But then, of course, all the boss babes, all the, feminist girls or whatever, they have all the shit they have to say, and they're so entitled that they should have all these things from a man that they have done nothing to deserve, That's the thing. You gotta deserve it. You have to become worthy, The people, like, for instance, this is so common also, men, guys, they want a girl that's traditional and low body count and shit, right? But they are out trying to sleep with girls, They are acting as complete hypocrites. And then there's this like, well, it's different for men and blah, blah, blah. Well, whether it's different for men or not, do you think that that's a good thing to do? If you think that women should have a lower body count, do you think being out there contributing to them having higher body counts, do you think that's a good man of God? That's what he does? Of course not, If you want that from a girl, you have to lead by example. That's what I did, right? I repented from my old ways, and I ended up having to be celibate for over 6 years for the right one, I wasn't a hypocrite, right? And that was the thing that I started realizing when I took good care of myself with the fitness. When I lived a proper lifestyle, I got rid of addiction. I got a good diet, I lose the fat I have, I build muscle, I become a very well-functioning, healthy, high-performing, disciplined person in this sort of way. And it, of course, how you do something is how you do everything. I was more ambitious and hardworking and able to give and provide to people in life all over, right? And now I realize that, because now it's like, it's not hypocritical of me to have certain standards for fitness, for instance, on a woman. It's like, well, I value this, I live up to it. Of course I want someone that lives up to it, It's this dual thing, guys. So you have to take a lot of responsibility for, am I really, I talk all the shit as if I'm the shit, the Chad, right? But am I really someone this amazing woman that I'd like to be with would be drawn to, And in fact, right now, who you are right now, if a woman was drawn to you, what does that say about her, depending on who you are right now? I wouldn't want someone that wanted to be with my old self. They were messed up in some way, because I was messed up in some way. Settle for me the way I was. I don't think that, you see? But so it's both this part of taking extreme responsibility that I have to live up to. I'm not good at this, I could be better at this. Well, if I want this from a woman, then I have to live up to this certain standard first, right? But it's also the thing that you have to own that then. The way I do, the way that triggers a shit out of a lot of people on this channel. I would just own that, yeah, I'm fucking great at many things. Yeah, I've proven it over and over. What are you going to tell me? If I say that I have a physique way more developed than most people, I look like a fucking Greek god. People, you see, I could go on, It's like, some people would hate that I say that, but it's like, okay, is it not true? Is it not true, right? And with so many other things. And guys, that's what you have to be. I told my girl this yesterday when we were on the phone. We travel back and forth to each other now, right? Before we can fully stay with each other. But I told her on the phone that as a man, what you have to be, I am literally, okay, This is what I mean. You take responsibility, but when you take responsibility and do the work on yourself, you're actually gonna live up to fucking being the shit, right? Everything you think a man should do, for real, you are it, right? And so I think every man should strive to be the best man that they know, personally, because of course it's not about being objectively best, like if there's some competition on earth like that. I know there are men out there that will be more accomplished in certain ways than me, ahead of me in certain ways, right? But you are always the one you know the best is always yourself, you know. So your certain things you're never going to be able to know to the same degree about other people, and you should have values, like importance, you know, a mission that you're on, that I see it's from God, right? I am on a certain mission to be a good, strong man. I know what that means, what I can do, what I already do well, where I can improve, right? And I do not give a shit what anyone else says about that, because I know that it's right? I know that I'm trying to be the best man I can be, have the best positive impact on this world that I can, to men and women, specifically for women. Also, I want to be the best man I could be. And that is not just being a little nice guy, you know, kissing women's ass, but it's also not being this red pill fucking dork, fucking loser. So imagine that, guys. When you think, like, let's make up some shallow things. I think a man should be fit, you know, or he should have some muscle, he should look, you know, athletic at least, you know, not too much fat, a little bit of muscle. Should be disciplined, follow a good diet, he should work, you know, work not as in not just to earn money, that's a part of it, but you know, just be serious, be on a mission, have something that drives him and something he wants to do, to give to the world. And you know, we take some of these things, you know, imagine that you think these things, and then you actually, years later, you are fit. You are the guy that's healthy, disciplined on point with your fitness stuff. You are working on things, you know that you have value to bring, that you consistently bring value to other people. You're gonna feel like you are the fucking shit, and most people are just gonna be, they're just gonna seem interesting to you on that level. I don't mean that people are just uninteresting overall, but you understand, you know, like, but I am literally the shit, you know. I live up to all these things I know that I think is the most important in life, and I don't see many other doing it. Clearly, I am the shit, right? You see what I mean, guys? To call in the right woman, if I talk to men, but the other way around also, you really have to be, your relationships are a reflection of you, okay? If you don't like what you're seeing in your relationships, look in the mirror. You cannot change the mirror. You have to change yourself to get a different reflection in the mirror. So, the last point I guess I'd make is, like, you shouldn't think of it as shaping yourself into, like, for a woman. Always as a man, it has to be from something higher. But of course, we want to understand and be good to our woman. So of course, there's some degree of just realizing what women like and want, and things you might have to work on specifically in that department. But that's not, and it's not just about becoming something for the woman, right? But then you're gonna end up becoming the most true and authentic version of you. And you're gonna pull someone in that actually loves you for you, and she is gonna be the reflection of you, you know? Yeah, that's the thing you have to realize, whether it's romance, friendship, or anything else. If you think a relationship, someone is not good enough for you, they're treating you poorly or something, like, well, guess what? It says something about you, and sometimes just that you're staying in some shit that you just shouldn't. You're not getting what you need and deserve or want, right? But there's always the outcomes you get consistently, they always say something about you, right? So yeah, it's like I'm inspired. You see, I talked for almost half an hour here. No, I'm personally very happy. Of course, we're having a very amazing time, me and my girl, right now. And life is just exciting overall. But I'm also I'm also as excited, because I've been wanting, like this, since about the summer. This is a direction that I wanted to go with my content, because again, I don't want to be viewed as some kind of guru or stuff, but you know, the people that work with me one-on-one, clients, they know the things I can bring to the table outside of my most typical content. They know that even when it comes to fitness, but what makes me special as a coach and teacher is not only, oh, I know how to train, you know. It's deeper stuff, right? And I happen to know that the world is fucking lost when it comes to masculinity, femininity, men and women. We are lost about who we should be and how the other part is. We're living way too much from the mind and way too little from the heart. way too little uncommon sense in this world, as in not only logic, but actually sensing. Not just fucking thinking about things all the time, you know. Just being. Being a man. Being a woman. Being. Not trying to be something, not pretending. Being what you know you should be, you know. Operate from that first and foremost. Let's put it this way. Let's end on this note, because it was, of course, to tell you some things about love, how to attract, you know, a great partner, but also how that indirectly would push you. If you want a great partner, you have to be great, right? Just how the journey has to work. But let's end on this note, that when you do choices that are right for you, like truly, what you know deep down, not what your parents think, what your friends think, what society tells you, or anything like that. When you know deep down what you want and what is right, and you fucking know, you put that above all, that is God, okay? The values, what you know to be true and right. When you put that first and you live in line with that, then whatever outcomes you get are going to be the right ones for you, and you're going to be able to read the outcomes also, that when you don't get what you want or what you'd like, you know where to look, you know where to change things, okay? So, well, you know, guys, this was a long and not the typical video for me to say this, but actually, on the day of posting this, I will take some free consultations, video consultations, okay? And it's a one thing only. If you see this later than a day later, I'm not gonna do it again. Yeah, I'm gonna, if you respond to a thing I'm gonna put here in the description, I'm gonna get back to you later. It's just that you have to respond here. It'll be, you know, quick to the party. And I offer the free consultation, and to those that do this, some free coaching time in December. To get started, you know, to start preparing so we have a solid plan to work on ourselves. 2025, guys, it's a year, it's a 9 year, 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 5 is 9. So end like behaving the way you know, not being who you know you could and should be, right? 2026, it's a year of beginnings. 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 6 is 10, and you reduce it to 1, right? Beginnings. So guys, you can take a video consultation, possibly, if you proceed with coaching, get some free time in December, and it's a thing I just offer for you today, those that reach out today. And yeah, that's it, guys. So, you know, holistic bodybuilding coaching is, that's what we're talking about. Send me DM, email me, answer to the thing that's going to be linked in the description. You can pick up my training book, everything training, philosophy, mindset related that you need in order to become a self-reliant, jacked and stacked individual. You can pick up my Consistent King course, very much focused on becoming that character, not just following the program and diet, but actually what the process is like of becoming a consistent king, the archetype in this case. Please subscribe for more content about fitness, fast losing weight, building muscle, self-improvement, stoicism, mental health, philosophy, spirituality, mindset. It is a mindset, guys. It's always about you. Don't look out there. Don't point fingers anywhere other than here. To begin with, at least. Peace.